Hi you guys, this is Elsa and welcome to Achromatopsia and the saga that is my life. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about what it's like to have achromatopsia and be partially sighted, dealing with transportation, like means of getting around. Um, well, let's see, when I was younger, obviously I had my parents take me places, but it wasn't until I was in middle school, where at school I was trained with the VI teacher. I was trained on how to cross the streets using the cars. So it's maybe like eighth grade. I started walking around places because I knew how to cross the streets. And then in high school, I learned how to ride the bus. And that's kind of how I traveled a lot. I feel like the bus is a little more complicated, so you should be older if you're gonna use the bus. It's hard because, well, now the newer buses are very high tech. When I used to take the bus when I was younger, they didn't have, like, they didn't talk. Like, now I feel like all the buses, when it makes a stop, it says, like, on the little, what is it called? Like on the little speaker system, it'll say what street it's stopping on or the corner of so and so. When I used to take the bus, it wouldn't do that. You would just stop wherever you would stop. So what I would have to do is, well, first of all, when the bus pulls up at a bus stop, you need to learn the schedule, and every bus is different. I wasn't able to always see what number the bus was, so when the bus would stop and they would open the doors, I would have to ask the driver, "Excuse me, can you please tell me what bus this is?" And they would tell me, and whether I took that bus or not. If it was a bus I needed, I would go on the bus and I would let them know, "Hey, I'm partially sighted. Could you let me know when we get to this street?" And I wouldn't go sit down on the seats like the other passengers. I would just stand behind the bus driver, so they wouldn't forget I was there. And whenever I would get to the street that I need to get to, they would let me know, "Oh, hey, we're at this street," and then I would get off. So you basically just have to let people know, about your situation, because they're not just gonna know. So I did that for a while, and then when I was older, once I had my son, I would use my bike, and I used my bike a lot. When my son was about um, maybe 8 or 9, I had to start taking him to school. Um, well, not always take him in the morning, but I would always have to pick him up in the afternoon. So I had to come up with a way, because I didn't want him walking. It was okay for me to walk, but I didn't want him walking. I came up with a little solution for that. I would ride my bicycle, and then I bought one of those. I don't know what it's called, but it's kind of like a little baby trailer. I think it's for toddlers, that you attach, like you hook it up to the back tire of your bike. So that is essentially how I would pull him around. That's how I took him places and picked him up from school, and it was fine at first. But as he got older, I guess it kind of got like embarrassing, because I think it is really designed for toddlers, not for older kids. And he would have to go in there and curl up, and he was so embarrassed by it that I would have to park a block away from the school to drop him off and pick him up, because he was like embarrassed about it. But I mean, it was comfortable for him. He could sleep the extra 15 minutes while that it took me to drive to the school. He could sleep back there. He had a pillow, a blanket, my cell phone, so he was fine. But on me, it was a lot of work, because we live in like a residential area, so I didn't have to really go through any busy streets. It's just I would have to go uphill, and it was just a lot. Like, it was a lot on my body to do this every day, and then tug on this big trailer with this big kid in it. So it was just a lot. So I did that for a while, or I would have people give me rides. But it's it's a lot to always have to be depending on other people. And I feel like as a visually handicapped person, that's just life, that's reality, that's how it's always gonna be. But I'm very stubborn, and I'm very hard-headed, and I like my independence. And for certain things that I can do myself, I will. And when it comes to doing something as simple as taking my son to school, I want to be able to do that, you know? So that's why I would do the bike. I hated the bike, by the way. I hated it. But it was what I had to do at the time. It wasn't until my son was in middle school that I came across mobility scooters. And that's what I'm currently using now. Um, it looks like a regular scooter, but it is not. I always have to keep telling people it looks like one, but it's a mobility scooter. A mobility scooter is basically an electric wheelchair. So it's designed for the sidewalk. I would not feel comfortable riding on the street. Even when I used to ride my bike, I would never ride it on the street. I would always ride it on the sidewalk. But anyway, so this is basically like a two-seater mobility scooter. So I'm able to have me in the front seat and my son sits in the back seat. And what I like about this scooter is that it has two big adult seats. So my son is now in high school. He's in ninth grade of high school. So he outgrew me about 2 years ago. So I'm able to fit him in the seat fine. Like there's no small seater or something that he'll outgrow. Like this is for adults, so he fits comfortably in the back. The only issue that I have with my scooter is when the weather gets bad, which is starting to happen now. It's not designed for bad weather. So when it rains and it gets real windy, I'm kind of just, or should I say we are kind of just stuck out there in the elements. So that's, I guess, the downside to this. But, I mean, it gets me to where I need to go. It helps me a lot. And I don't, unless I have to go somewhere kind of far, or to a doctor's appointment, or take my daughter to her appointments that are pretty far, I don't have to ask for a ride. When it comes to anything close by my house, the grocery store, the barbershop where I take my son to get a haircut, the beauty shop where I go get my haircuts, let's see. There's like a lot of places that are close by that I can get to on my scooter just fine, and I don't have to ask anybody to take me. So I enjoy that. The only other thing too is it's the scooter that I have right now. Sorry. It's a two-seater, so it's only designed for two people. So I have a 2-year-old daughter, and there's lots of times where I have to take her with me because there's nobody home. So the way I handle that is my son sits in the back, I sit in the front, and she's small enough where she still fits in, I don't know what they're called, but they're like little backpacks that you put babies in and you hold them that way, like a little kangaroo backpack type thing. That's how I drive with her if I have to take her with me. And I mean, it's a mobility scooter. It's not going fast. I'm literally going the speed of somebody that's not walking, but maybe jogging. So I'm not going very fast. But still, it's not scary, but I feel like I go even slower when she's with me just because I get anxious. But that's the way I get around. Like I said, if I have to go to an appointment or somewhere that's further, I do depend on other people to have to give me rides. Whether it's my husband, whether it's my family, friends, just anyone basically who's available to give me a ride. And you know, I get frustrated with that sometimes because I don't like to ask for help, but like I said, the reality is that I need it. So that's just the way I get around. That's how I deal with transportation. Now, because of my disability, I technically do, they have like certain services that are able to give you a ride, but it's kind of more complicated because you have to call them like a week in advance and set up the date. You have to, let's say I have an appointment at 2 o'clock at so-and-so office. They want to know what time my appointment is, and then they show up to your house either an hour and a half to an hour early, so that way you have enough time to get to your appointment. And then after your appointment, once you get out, you call them, and then they come pick you up whenever they can. So you can be waiting anywhere from 5 minutes to get picked up to 2 hours to get picked up. And that's happened to me before. So if you have a busy schedule like I do, or you're just a mom and you're always on the go and you have things to do at certain times, it's really not convenient or ideal for me to have to depend on that. So that's why I rather just have people give me rides because it's quicker that way. Now, like I said, this is just the way I do it. I know there's lots of people that actually use those services or um, have other means of transportation, but this is the way that, you know, I do things. What I wanted to tell you guys about, like I said, I like to make these videos for parents of children who have achromatopsia, because that way it gives you like a little window into the way I see, so you have a little bit of a better understanding of your child and how they see. But I know there's a lot of people who watch my videos that actually have achromatopsia, and so I guess this is kind of towards them. Like I said, I use my scooter. That's my form of transportation. And when I would post videos about that, a lot of people were like, "Oh my gosh, like this is amazing." So I wanted to tell you guys that I um have been looking at all kinds of things online about scooters, and I ran across this particular scooter that I think you guys need to know about. Like, I don't know how I didn't know about this, but it is amazing. I thought my current form of transportation was pretty brilliant, but this is awesome. Okay, it's basically a mobility scooter like the one I currently have. It's a mobility scooter. So it is an electric wheelchair, essentially. So it is designed for the sidewalk. You don't need a license, you don't need insurance, none of that, and it is electric. But this new one that I found is enclosed. It is a mobility scooter, but it's enclosed, so it's completely shut off. It is weatherproof, which is something that I think is amazing. It's enclosed, and my current form of transportation has 2 seats. This offers you a seating for 3 people. There is a seat in the front and 2 small seats in the back. So I think if you had 2 full-grown adults sit in the back, it would more than likely be a tight squeeze. But if you have 2 children, like I do, they would fit comfortably in the back seat. So I'm actually very interested in this product. It's just very expensive. The main thing I liked about it was the fact that it's enclosed and it's weatherproof. It's actually designed for bad weather like snow and rain. But it has all these extra little bells and whistles that I think is pretty amazing. Like I said, it's enclosed. It has window. It looks, I don't know if you guys have ever seen a smart car. You know, it looks like a little baby toy car. This is kind of like that, but smaller, if you can picture that. So it's compact, and it has doors, and each door, it's 2 doors, has roll-up windows. It has the windshield has a wind wiper. I think that's what it's called. So if it rains, you're able to get it off your windshield. It offers AC and heater, and it also has a sky roof that opens up. And on the very back, where the 2 back seats are, it has another window that you're also able to open. It also comes with a radio, an alarm, and when you go backwards, it has a rear view camera that pops up on the little screen, which I think is amazing. And I'm really, really interested in this. It's just kind of pricey, but I will figure something out. It's just really, really amazing. If you guys are interested in it, it's called a QRunner mobility scooter, and this is what it looks like. It literally looks like a little car. So it is amazing. Like I said, especially if you live somewhere where it rains a lot or it's just bad weather, this thing is so cool. This is what it looks like on the inside. You have your driver's seat, and in the back you have the 2 seats available for either one bigger person or 2 smaller kids would fit comfortably back there. This seat is adjustable. You can either push a little bit more back or a little bit more forward. And as far as the steering mechanism, it's not a wheel like a car. It is a scooter. On the inside, it really is like a scooter, but on the outside, it looks like a little car. So then you have your little monitor up here. And when you go backwards, when you have reverse, the little camera in the back of the car turns on, and you see back on this little screen what's back there. So you won't ever have to bump into anything, or if you're backing up and there's something that just goes across your way, you're able to see it without hitting it. Um, so like I said, I feel like more people need to know about this type of things that are out there so you can be proactive and get around places. I know the struggle of always having to ask for rides, and um, it's a lot to always have to be doing that. So if it's something that's, not too far, that's, you want to be able to get to yourself, if it's not just you, if it's you have kids or you have just a partner, somebody that you would want to come along with you, I think these forms of transportation would be super beneficial to you guys. So you guys should look at that type of stuff up on YouTube, Google. There's all kinds of really good links to things like this, whether it just be bicycles, electric bike. Really, what are they called? I think it is called an electric bike. Just anything that isn't so license dependent, you can do it. Trust me, it's super easy. You have fun and you can get around yourself, and it makes you feel good to be able to do things on your own without having to ask other people. I know it makes me feel good. So anyway, I hope this was a little bit eye-opening for you parents out there, to know that there's things your children can do. And for people on here that have achromatopsia, I hope this helps you guys, to give you guys ideas or the inspiration to want to look, at things like this to help you just in life in general, get places. And the possibilities are endless. This is just things that I have found, but if you guys have ways of you guys, getting places, I'm curious to know, what they are. If you comment, I'd appreciate that because I'm curious too, the way other people do it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and stay tuned. I have more videos in mind to create for you guys, but give me time. I have a lot of things going on, so I'm making these videos, as I go. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye.